I've never done ordinary things. I've always been the captain of the netball team and head girl at college, that sort of thing. So I haven't been an ordinary person. My spirituality lies in my desire to be useful to other people and to be able to help them to become what they want to be. My vision for education should be that it must be free. Free, quality and democratic, and non-racial. All children are equal.
Hierdie week se goue burger is Ursula Fatar, 'n onderwyseres en aktivis wie haar leerlinge se lewens beïnvloed het, nie net in die Wes-Kaap nie, maar ook in naburende lande wat 'n demokratiese verandering ervaar het tydens die laaste dekade van die apartheidjare in Suid-Afrika.
Come, Rajiv. Come, let's get tuck ready. Come. I'm up at 6 and I'm out of the bathroom by 6:30 when the next shift is ready to go into the bathroom. That's my son and his son, my grandson. And then I'm in the kitchen getting Rajiv, my grandson's tuck ready for school. I have to make some porridge for myself because I have to have my diabetic tablets with a base. So I have to eat it with or after the oats porridge in the morning. I have a great faith in oats porridge.
You should try cooking without salt.
I am using this salt already. I don't put any salt into the rice, for instance.
Yeah, because I don't cook with salt. But my sugar levels are okay.
Well, hopefully I didn't have sugar problems when I was your age. I was born in 1930, at the time of the Great Depression, between the two world wars. We were extremely poor. My father didn't have a job. My mother was a dressmaker. He was a carpenter. And occasionally somebody would give an order to make a dress, and then we'd have money for a little food and so on. My mother was born in Beaufort West, and so was my father, born in Beaufort West. With the Depression, they had to come down to Cape Town. First, he came to find a job, in which he couldn't. He couldn't find a job. She tried to get on with her dressmaking until my dad found a job. My mother came from a family in which there were siblings who were white enough to pass as white. And my uncle, Mike, he was such a person. Then came my mother, who was brown as I am. And then came another aunt, and she was white. And then the next one would be brown. We grew up not bothering about the color of people. First formative years in primary school, I was sent to a school here in Wynberg, to the Broad Road Primary School. And I finished standard 6 there. From there, I went to Livingston High in Claremont. 17, I was at high school. In February, my mother died. My mother died, and I had to run the home I had to run the home, I had to cook, I had to wash and iron, and do all the things that Mum used to do, and go back to college the next morning, but the work had to be done.
1948 was 'n formatiewe jaar vir Ursula. Sy het nie net 'n ouer verloor nie, maar dit was ook die begin van verrykende politieke veranderinge in die land. Veranderinge wat haar hele lewe se koers sou verander.
In 1948, when the Nats came to power, we were all huddled around a newspaper in the class, the students, and we were so depressed. We were very depressed and frightened. And our teacher came in and said, "Don't worry, it's not going to last forever."
The golden years. Alhoewel Ursula met 'n matriekonderskeiding geslaag het, was daar nie geld om op universiteit verder te studeer nie. In daardie dae was beroepskeuses vir nie-blanke vroue beperk tot tiksters, verpleegsters of onderwyseresse. Ursula het die onderwys gekies en het tussen 1949 en 1950 die Hewitt Onderwys College in Athlone bygewoon.
I joined the Teachers League of South Africa, for short the TLSA, as a student associate. And it is from going to branch meetings, first the Claremont branch, that I learned a lot of politics. Namely, that there is only one race, and that is the human race. That the color of a person's skin should not dictate your attitude to that person. It's what is inside of the person that is important.
As jong onderwyseres was Ursula 'n stigterslid van Alexander Sinton Sekondêre Skool in Belgravia Straat, Athlone, 'n area waar baie studente protesoptogte plaasgevind het.
This will take us to First. I was born in First Avenue, just off First Avenue, Claremont. This is the house. And this one there, that is the house. It looks very different now. The Group Areas Act put us out. I had to go and live in Athlone, near to my school where I was teaching. And my younger brother, who went to live with some old friends of my mother. My elder brother had been married by that time, so he had to move out with all whatever was my father had left behind. And he went to Retreat and established a home in Retreat.
Die politieke aktivisme wat in Ursula se tienerjare begin het haar hele lewe lank volgehou. Deesdae is sy betrokke by 'n veldtog wat die sluiting van Wes-Kaapse skole teenstaan.
Mrs. Ursula Fattar has been a stalwart in the struggle against oppression. She left the country because of the political situation here, where the police and the security police were hounding her husband and herself, as happened with many other people in this country. So let's welcome Mrs. Fattar.
I wonder if there's anybody in the audience here who can answer this question. What happened in 1948? Yes? Pardon? Yes, you're quite right. 1948 saw the beginning of the apartheid regime. The first thing that they did was to put boards on the carriage, on the carriages, and it said Europeans only or whites only. I was in Matric in 1948. A group of us got together and we bought railway tickets to Cape Town. We had no business to go to Cape Town, but we got all pennies together and we bought railway tickets to Cape Town. And once we got into the white coaches, no? And what did we do? We got up out of our seats and we pushed those white-only signs down so it went clattering down into the railway. We pushed the signs off. Then the conductor came and he looked at us and he says, "You are not in the right carriage." So we said, "What are you talking about?" So he said, "This carriage is for white people only." But we said, "But there were no boards on the carriage to say it's for whites." Because we know we threw it down. My vision for education should be that it must be free. If we were able to stop all the corruption that is going on in the country, there would be quite enough money over to give children a free education. Certainly, the whole primary school should be free. My husband came from a Muslim family, but he was different from everybody else because, like me, he didn't have time for religion. Nevertheless, we had a Muslim marriage. The first marriage was a Muslim one. And Ashley was born a year later. There is this photograph of Ashley when he was little, and we were very happy, as you can see. And we had a legal marriage after that in Zambia. And then my husband was the General Secretary of the TLSA. These are the officials of the Cape Teachers Federal Council. And as is evident here in the picture, no regard was given to color.
Ursula se man, Ali, was gewaarsku dat hy vir sy politieke aktiwiteite gearresteer sou word. Hy het dit reg gekry om oor die grens te ontsnap na Botswana toe. Kort daarna het sy by hom aangesluit. Hulle kon aanvanklik nêrens werk kry nie, maar toe kry Ali die geleentheid om weer as onderwyser te werk.
It was beautiful. The air was clean. The skies were always blue. We could have a vegetable garden. It was a bit hot, but it was great. It really was. In the mornings, I would take the child on my arm and go for a walk in the fresh air and so on. And there we'd see, I'll say his name's James, I've forgotten. James would see us, and then he would lift his hand and say, "Dume lama," and I would wave back and say, "Dume lara." I realized that one does not have to be reticent in coming forward. You must go forward to people, whether you know them or not. Go forward and speak, because you're both human beings. Therefore, you must communicate. And that is what I learned in Botswana. After 3 years in Botswana, because I was at home, I wasn't teaching for those 3 years, I began to hanker for the classroom. And then I said to him, "Let's go to Zambia." And then he agreed. My husband taught at Munali Secondary for a while.